I was in Hong Kong visiting my brother when he was living there. He gave me a stack of CDs, just all pirated. Now you name it, it's in there somewhere. So of course you came back and then you're going through customs. Okay. And then the custom caught it. It's like, oh, you got a whole bunch of CDs. So they randomly pulled one out because they want to know what's inside. They just think that maybe it's maybe something illegal, which I was. But as soon as they put it in, all of a sudden porn popped up. And then also they're like, they were shocked. So they're shutting everything down. They're like, sorry, sir. I'm sorry to look at that. Here we go. Go ahead.
Porn saved you. I don't know. You're a tech guru. I don't... You asking us?
They changed it.
I
would hate to say what your position at a company is.
Legitimately, he's the only engineer on this.
I know. That's why. No, you're engineer too, Henry.
I don't call myself engineer. I'm a hack.
Not.
I'm
Isn't an engineer just like a problem solver, pretty much?
No, I think engineers are just hacks.
Wow.
What's that?
No. Look at it.
Wow.
That's so bad. That's not. I have engineer
Not
friends
cool.
that would not like to hear that.
Not cool.
Well, I'll say it. How about that?
I know there is like I feel that there is a very stereotypical personality to engineer.
Also not cool. I'm going to be defensive about this, man.
Okay. Let's ask if these are true or not, depending on type of profession, career. Do you prefer Boolean questions? Or
wait.
Sorry.
What is a Boolean? See,
Sorry.
You gotta dumb it down for me.
See, I disqualified myself right away already.
Come on. That's not
Okay.
That's not cool.
I find that engineers are very. It is either an answer or it is not an answer. So there's a 1 or a 0.
It's called binary.
Yeah. Do you feel that is true, Ken?
Do I identify as binary?
No.
What?
No. Like.
Hey, listen, this is a safe space, and if you do, it's all good.
Personality wise, like
Sometimes I'm a 1, sometimes I'm a 0.
Here's a good one. Engineer would probably be letter of the law versus spirit of the law. So letter of the law means that based on what is written down, this is how the law should be interpreted. Now,
Yes.
spirit of the law means because you're breaking the law, I can kind of like, leeway, give you a warning, do stuff. There's a gray area because it's big gray area. So it's either black and white or gray, pretty much. So I'm going to pitch it back to Ken.
So I'm an engineer manager. So I think I am more spiritual, right? I would interpret the law much more spiritually compared to a hardcore, right? Vanilla engineer. They would definitely think definition first. I have seen.
So you do feel so that was a little bit on point for a stereotypical engineer.
The answer is 1.
What? Very good. Man. Yeah.
No, come to think of it, we should leverage 0s and 1s more. I don't know if you guys recall, but when we were taught about sex ed in high school, they use like the baseball bat and the glove to represent either side. But the moment I mentioned 1s and 0s, that made way more sense.
Wait, I gotta go back to the baseball bat and glove.
Wait.
You guys never
wait
did?
a minute. That's not how you play baseball.
No.
We ain't swinging bats at mitts. I'm just saying.
No,
Thank you. That was the only part of the analogy. I was like, oh, like how does a kid would not get that at all? I'd be like, what? We don't.
Oh yeah, hey, it was like a video that was made probably like on a VHS tape right back in the 70s or 80s, and that's how they uncomfortably explained sex to kids at that time.
Did your parents talk to you about sex ed?
Oh, come on, Freddie. My parents are Asian. To this day, right? They still haven't mentioned stuff like that.
But they expected you to provide them grandkids somehow.
Oh yeah, they just say, "Hey, figure it out." Like I learned shit from my doctor, from my friends, but not my dad. Never.
Not this subject.
Yeah. However, I'll have to put it this way. I think as my dad is getting older, he's a bit more liberal about this.
Yeah. So have you asked them now? They'd be like, "Hey, yo, pops."
I am not going to ask him.
How are kids made? You never saw me the birds and the bees. I'd like to know. Thank you.
I was like, Dad, I winged it, right? And I got lucky twice, but I have no idea how it happened.
The lights were off, just. Ernesto, did your parents ever talk to you about sex ed?
No.
Like anything?
Just to be, just to be careful, just to protect myself. That's it.
And it's like very general. Like, what does that mean?
Yeah. Just
like
don't forget to protect yourself. Yeah. Bulletproof vest. What are we talking about here?
Sunscreen.
Right. Yeah. No, everything I learned was at school.
Like
classes
from the teachers or from your friends? I'm trying to be real, man.
Wrong.
What's that?
No, through school. Yeah, through classes. Yeah.
Henry.
The only time my mom talked to me about sex was when she found a box of condom in my room.
And then
she's like, "What is this?" I'm like, "Mom, what do you think it is?" And she's like, "You are." I'm like, "Mom, it's not open. So take it easy." And then that was the end of conversation.
Jeez. The open box in the other box, George. You didn't see it.
If it's open, it's a different conversation.
Well, what if they were open? What would she have said?
That was not for me to find out. That was for me to leave it alone.
Oh man. What
about you, Freddie?
Like the rest of you, my parents didn't ever talk to me about really. It was weird because like we could watch every violent movie, like Rambo, Terminator, blood and guts, people just getting wasted everywhere, whatever. No problem. Sex scene, like, whoop, look away, can't see, don't do. Killing, no problem. Sex, no. I was like, what? So now when I think back on it, I was like, it's kind of weird, when you think about it that way, you're like, shouldn't we have learned more about sex? But I learned most of it from my friend's older brother.
Wait. You should have learned more about sex? You should have learned earlier? You should have learned it.
Well, here, this is how I was just saying, like, this is how I learned about sex. Like, literally, my friend had older brother, and older brother just showed us Playboy and just talked about it. And we're like, what the hell? It was like, mind blown. Like,
how much older? Like, what was the age gap?
Dude, we were young. I'm not gonna say the age. It was. But
how old was he? How old was the older brother?
I think at the time, let's see, because we were still in grade school, so he's maybe in middle school. So I don't know what age is that. It's like less than. That's like barely preteen. I mean, we're all 13?
Like. At the high end?
Seventh grade, like right? Really 7th grade?
Yeah.
So
13.
Man, so weird. And even back then, like, we didn't even have the internet. So, like, now kids have the access like that to anything. That's one thing. Yep. But then the other thing is, like, for us, we're like, whoa, no one to talk to about it. No one to, like, help you understand it. No one to know, like, this is real. This isn't real. You know, it's like you just don't get it. You like, get no perspective,
So,
and then you just get the older brother that's telling you stuff, and you're like, okay, yeah, because he's older, he's cool, yeah, he's showing us weird stuff that we're not supposed to be doing. Okay, you know.
So this question doesn't necessarily pertain to Freddie and I. So would be for Ken and Ernesto. Do you guys actually filter your internet going into your home?
I did it
Or did you?
for a short amount of time. And then it got in the way.
It slowed you down.
No.
Okay. Wait. When you use that type of program, what does it actually do, and how does it? I mean, Ernesto, did you ever have to, or?
Yeah, I did for the kids. So what I did when they were younger, I created a Gmail account for them. Like the three of them, I think, when they were born, right when they were born, and we gave them their names. Like that following week, whatever, I registered a Gmail account for them. And all of them, I ran through the family. What's it called? They have like a parental app, right? And then on the app, you basically control everything. What they search for, what apps they use, what time, like you could limit, like
you can
time.
Like turn off their access.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
nice.
And then like, my older one isn't on it anymore. Neither is my middle one, but the youngest still is, right? So if he wants to install an app, right, I basically anything that's like kid friendly, he doesn't have to ask for permission. But if there's something that's above like his age, then he knows that he needs to like prompt me to enter the password or whatever.
Do you prevent them from going to inappropriate sites?
No.
So they could just type it in, we just boom, they'll be
They
there.
totally could. My two older ones totally could. I mean, it really is on them. And here's the weird part, right? Their friends are listening to this podcast, right? They could be listening to this podcast, right? He could probably be listening to this podcast.
It's different, but like it's weird. Like that's what I'm saying. The access is so different. So all four of us know what do they call it? Like porn found in a dumpster or porn found in the woods. Like the four of us, because of our age and everything else, we probably wouldn't understand what that means. Like, how would you actually see a Playboy? Like, you wouldn't. Like, you wouldn't see any of this unless it was all of a sudden like your older brother, or like it's like someone dumped it in the middle of the woods.
Freddie,
you're like, what the hell is this?
In middle school, I had a dealer. Right.
See?
So,
See?
We had
even a real. See?
I had no clue. Right. Okay, so
yeah, come on, me. Yeah, we're all different. Like
and back in the day, you're absolutely right. It's magazine or VHS tapes. That's it. There's no other way. And so what happened was I met this guy. I'm not going to name names, but apparently his dad's just got a whole collection of this stuff. And what he does is, like, the first time I got it, he gave it to me in a brown bag. Right. And I was like, oh, what is this? Open it up. It was Playboy. I was like, oh, damn. And I was like, this is awesome. Right. And I found out like every week he would check in and say, hey, you good? You done with that one? Got another one for you. I'm like, whoa, I love this service. Completely free. Right. No lines attached, no nothing. And so this happened for a couple of months. And then one time I noticed, like at lunchtime, he'll give me a brown bag, and then I see him walk over to another table and he'll give another kid another brown bag. I was like, how wide is this guy's network?
Wow.
It was wide, dude. I found out later when I started asking around, like half my friends were in on it.
Boy,
and then
I've got so many questions though.
Fire off. I have questions too. Fire off. You go
what
first.
Was in
go
it
first.
for him? I mean, what
well,
like
he's got to be like first couple are free. You know,
popularity.
No. It was just notoriety. He just became the dude.
He's a cool guy.
He's the cool guy.
Just hooking everybody up.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
I guess.
Now, I have to say, this means because at any moment, there's probably like a dozen
Now when you look at it
magazines
back, it looks really weird,
circulating.
right? You're like, this is
It's weird when you think about it. That's why I remembered it. I was like, wow, I haven't thought about this in such a long time. But that means his dad's got a collection so vast, he wouldn't even miss a dozen magazines gone at any moment.
Wow.
That is impressive.
But yeah, I had in middle school one of my buddies. So this is the reason I didn't quite understand the reference of either the dumpster or the forest was because the way we did it was there was like there must have been maybe 16 the floppy disks that and I have no idea how he did this, but each floppy had, I don't know, like 60 images. So I don't know how he, like, you know, not the floppy ones, but the, what were they, 3.5, 3.25?
Oh,
Like,
right?
the Generation 2
plastic ones.
floppies. Yeah.
Yes,
you know how much
exactly.
that's on? Well, hold on. So how much memory was on that? Do you know?
Well, so
I
that's
know.
my point.
I know.
Was there a
I
meg,
know
right?
this engineer knows. And Ersa, do you remember how much
A meg?
actual memories on one piece of little?
Was it a meg?
I can give the
1.44.
exact number. Exact
Oh,
number.
yes, yeah, I don't know.
1.44. I think they had a dual layer.
Oh, that's
later on.
right.
like
1.44.
That's right. Yeah. Well, so anyways.
And then guess what? If you put it don't and then like get a magnet, you're screwed. Like,
Yeah.
Throw it away.
So he would carry around in his backpack, right, a little box
Nice.
with like 6 floppy disks in there, and he would hand them out. And one day, man, I have no idea how he did it, but he handed me the whole box, dude. That was gold. Because I'm telling you, I don't know how he did it, right? Like thinking back, if there was only 1.44 megs on it, there was at least 30 images.
This is definitely generational. Like they're
Holy
passing
cow.
around floppies. We're passing
Yes.
out paper. Oh my god.
Yes.
Okay, so I have to say, okay, Ernesto, those images on those floppy disks, the quality between that and then the traditional magazine is like standard definition versus definition.
Hold on.
No,
But
no.
wait, let's go back. Hold on. Let's just talk about nostalgia in general. Just like because we all like whatever we were doing, think about it. Like Super Mario Brothers was like the best game. It was everything was cool, blah blah. You look back on it, it was like, dude, this it still has a pull to it, but like it looks like look at the graphics. Look
Yeah.
I have now like I have something hooked up to my TV that's running 4K. You're like, this is amazing. What? This is such a big difference. So like
That's a great analogy, Freddie. So let me cut in right there for the Mario Brothers, right? Like back in the day, the graphics were highly pixelated. It's like Minecraft, right? Quality. Now, the images on those floppy disks, just picture this. You're playing Mario, and then you mod the game, and Mario is naked.
what?
That's what it looks like. It's a pixelated pee-pee.
It's blurred out. That's what you're saying. So
Yeah.
I think I have a really dumb question. The ones in floppy, were they in color or is it black and white?
Oh, that's a good question.
You're gonna ask
No,
that?
No, it's called, hey, Henry,
They
remember.
were in color.
Ah,
They were in color. Sorry.
Perfect timing.
you have to notice back then, you have 3 kinds. You have black and white, which is shitty. Then it's something called grayscale. Okay. And then you go to color. And before you had color, grayscale was a big improvement.
Oh, but wait. I have a question. So, and I was gonna ask, this Henry. If you go black and white photo and stuff like that, isn't it a higher actual definition than it is a color? Like,
No,
Would
because
it be
it's
the
about
same?
number of pixels. But to answer your, but I know what you're trying to ask. It's about number of pixels, but my question was, did you had a color monitor or did you had that black and white monitor? Okay, and
No,
in
it's
between,
not
by the
black and
way,
white.
there's a thing
It was
called
green, bro.
Monochrome.
Buddy, it was
the Green
green. Green,
Matrix.
green
Yeah.
type on the thing.
It was Hulk
Matrix,
porn
remember that?
all the time.
And then when you had two colors, like, oh my god. there's
Also,
two
you can do
colors.
half tones, okay, people.
What was the first computer? Trash 80? That was the first one I touched. Or TRS 80. That was a Radio Shack one. And it was like we learned to code like very, very simply. And it was just small little things, but we call it Trash 80 because it was TRS. Like, and it was I mean, at the same time, other kids had like maybe a Commodore 64. And so, like in school, you're like, this thing is like,
I
I
don't-
That's like, what?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
64 bits in the computer. That's it.
What?
Commodore
Really?
64.
Wow. No, we had a Macintosh. My dad got one. It actually fell off the back of a truck.
Nice.
Uh,
Right into my hands.
yeah, I don't know the model, but that's the one. That's the one that was used to view the 6 floppy disks of heaven.
Whoa. And it had to be formatted to Mac. Wow, that is high class.
On top of its colors, though.
Yeah, wow, that's a fancy one.
Back then, that's crazy.
I had an Apple II.
Man, that's bringing back crazy
Apple
memories.
II as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we started out with the 5 1/4 floppy disk, the original. I love the
ones
sound
that
it makes, man. When
actually
you put it
flop.
in, it starts up like you're starting up a car. It just goes da 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 da. da.
The best is you have to put some of them you have to put the disc in and then lock it.
Yes.
That I remember.
For
I remember
whatever
the locking.
reason. I was like, what?
Well, because in some cases it will shoot right back at you.
Because it's spinning and a piece of plastic at you?
No, but did you guys ever hack that thing?
No.
Well, you
Wait,
I've
hack
seen
in
that.
what way?
I've seen that person that does the music.
no,
like,
no.
Ken was
Like,
talking
you,
about.
you take the flop. No, I'm talking old school, like when you're old
Oh.
days. So you buy the 5 1/4 floppy disk, and then there's a new thing that came out called double side. So you take the floppy out and flip it to the other side, but not all floppy does that. So what you do is that you take a hole puncher, you punch the other side to key it to make it look like it, so you can flip it to the other side to make it double sided. That was one of my.
And it's still,
Wow.
but it still writes on the other side. It was just like oh, that's weird.
Yeah, that's one of my
So-
earliest hacks that I've learned.
But you had to be uber careful with removing.
Why
the
did
little-
you? Okay, wait. Okay. Yes. Sorry. Go
No.
ahead. Ask your question first. I have questions.
No,
after.
it wasn't.
You
a
go
question.
first. You go first. I have follow up.
I was just gonna remember because like, this happened to me with the floppy with one of the infamous 6 floppy disks where the little metal piece it kind of bent a little, right? And so I remember I had to carefully remove it and grab another one from one of my other ones and carefully put it back.
Damn,
Those
how
are
many
dangerous.
miles did you run on that thing?
I was going to say it's over usage.
over insertion, man. That's what it
That's
is.
right, dude. That's right. Okay, sorry, Freddie. Go.
What? No. It's dude, nothing about that. I was just thinking like, why did you like this game so much? And
what game
do you
is it?
remember what game it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was one of those. It's funny. It's ironic. It's like a pirate game, where you like I forgot the exact name, but you play like a pirate and you come into your ships and you do trading and you like build up and buy cannons for your ship and you have different kind of ships.
I like that. It's
You
a
get
pirate
super
game.
fast. You get a merchant ship which is bigger and slower, like stuff like that. I'm like, oh, I love this whole pirating thing.
My
That's
son plays a game like that.
now.
Still.
Yeah,
Yeah, now.
there are games now like that. Now it's pretty
Yeah.
popular. I think there's
So-
one that's like pretty popular. It's where you.
So I have a question about floppies. Because this I never quite understood. Whenever you would install like a new OS or an OS update, right? It would come with like 5 different floppies.
Windows 95 was 85 floppies, I think.
Or a CD.
Really?
What the hell?
Holy cow. So how did a computer do that? Like remember its place while you swapped out the floppy and put the new one, and then it had to be in sequence too, right?
They just tell you that it's wrong when you put it in.
It would know.
You would know. So there's a table of contents in the very inside, and it would say, "Oh, I am this number 5," and then, "Oh, you should be inserting this number 6," and then they'll kick it out.
See, that was one of those like black magic things, right? Like, how did that happen?
But yeah, I think back in the days, I still remember trying to pirate Windows 95 from a friend because she had it and it's a girl, right? I got it from a girl. She's like, here's on my Windows 95. I will sit there and try to copy it, and then I was like, oh shoot, which one am I on? And I got to start all over again. So yeah.
But Henry, why does it matter if it came from a girl or a boy?
Oh, it doesn't, but I just thought it makes the story nicer. That's all.
I don't know.
No, actually, all the guys were too cheap to buy it, but she bought it.
Man, 95.
Yeah. No, back then too, pirating Windows OSs were huge in Asia. And if you go back to China or Hong Kong, I think my parents went back one time and they came back with a giant like CD case, right? Full of just any flavors of Windows, Office. Like, I'm like, damn, this stuff is crazy. And they go as far as trying to, copy the logos and everything onto the CDs too, and make it look,
And then at a certain point, they're able to actually generate the key.
Yeah.
No, so actually, I have a similar story to that. I was in Asia. I was in Hong Kong visiting my brother when he was living there. He gave me a stack of CDs, just all pirated. Now, you name it, it's in there somewhere. So, of course, you came back, and then you're going through customs. Okay. And then the custom caught it. It's like, oh, you got a whole bunch of CDs. So they randomly pulled one out because they want to know what's inside. They just think that maybe it's maybe something illegal, which I was. But as soon as they put it in, all of a sudden porn popped up. And then also they're like, they were shocked. So they're shutting everything down. They're like, sorry, sir. I'm sorry to look at that. Here we go. Go ahead.
Porn saved you.
The time that porn saved me.
Porn saved you.
Is a true story.
Man, that's why, that's why when you go to Asia and you buy CDs or DVDs on, they sell so much pirated stuff all over the world. And so like to bring it back, you just have to like take it out. Everyone like takes it out of their thing and puts it in like a CD case, because then it looks like yours. It's not, because they try to do everything to it. And it's crazy. That's how much amount like is pirated, how much is copied, how much is just, it's crazy.
You guys remember this is the Super Nintendo, and they had a hardware, I'll call it an accessory called the like Nintendo Doctor or Doctor Nintendo or something like I forgot the name, but here's the gist, right? Super Nintendo, you play with game cartridges. They're like these plastic things. You plug it into the console and then it loads up the game. So this thing would look like a whole other Super Nintendo, but it has a slot for the cartridge. So you put this thing right on top of the Super Nintendo, you insert it, and it'll be like a double-decker bus. And on the very front of it, your 1.44 floppy disk drive. So what it does is you put the actual game on the side, and then it will read the ROM, right? The game, all the data, all the code, and it would write it to a floppy disk. And so you would insert, I don't know how many disks. Some games require like 4 disks or something. And you just copy that stuff. And when you want to launch it, you launch it via the floppy disk. And this stuff was selling like hotcakes in Hong Kong.
Yep. But it was only in Hong Kong. That's where I saw it too. No, I was like, nowhere in the US.
I have to say, we're dating ourselves a little bit here.
Dude, that was crazy. I remember what you're talking about. That I'd never seen anything like it, because I was like, well, yeah, why wouldn't you use a floppy drive? And I was like, I want to buy it. And then my parents were like, but what if it doesn't work when you get home? And I was like, this thing's yeah, I didn't get it. End up playing, just go home and play Duck Hunt.
So Ernesto, have you ever tried to give your kids some old school tech and just let them go and try it out and figure out?
The best story that I've got, my first son, my oldest, when he was, I don't know, maybe 3, right? 3 or 4. I had an old iPod, right? Like the ones that had the clicky
wheel
buttons. Yeah, the wheel, right? And it had like the little black and white screen. And so he was old enough to where he had certain songs that he really liked, right? So I thought I'll load it up with all the songs that he likes. I'll give him some earphones, and when we're in the car, he can listen to his own little, his own music. And so I remember I gave it to him, and I was like, "This is gonna be your music. All your music's in here." And he looks at the screen, and he goes, "It don't work." And he hands it back to me, and I was like, "No, you have to push the buttons." But yes, that's like my one favorite story about that.
But that wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, it was. Sorry, buddy. It was a long time ago.
I mean, 9 years ago.
All right, fine.
Click
9
wheel?
years ago. Click wheel.
The click wheel goes back pretty far, man. Because
Well-
the first generation iPod is pretty much a click wheel.
So here, but I don't know. So just during the pandemic and all that stuff, my wife has been selling a lot of the stuff she's been finding in boxes, because I just have boxes of just we need to start getting rid of them. So we start selling them on online. And somebody actually really wanted my GPS. The old school car dash GPS that you put in your cars. Somebody actually bought it for like $40. Like, it's a Garmin, and I just sit there, scratch my head, and go, "Wait, these people don't have phones anymore?" And then the person who bought it, she was actually, my guess, I would say she was in early 30s. So I couldn't quite understand why
She
people are
may
still
not
buying
even have a
GPS.
smartphone though.
Maybe.
She could be like, "Hi."
But those like first gen Garmin's, Henry, from what I recall, it can take like 5 minutes to lock onto satellites. Like that's
Yeah,
how slow they
Really?
are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Took forever.
And so I don't think I've ever seen one. What was the device like? Like what is it? What are we talking about? Like,
So it's probably a 3.5-inch screen, okay, and it's about this big. And literally, you plug it in with the powered by the 12 volt, or it has a slot on the side for the maps. And then you would actually have to go out and say, "Oh, I want to go to Nevada. I should go out and buy a map of Nevada now." That's how
you'd have really.
That's
you'd
how they
have
used to make
buy-
money.
The map was on the ROM, on
Yeah.
the cartridge or on the thing.
right.
Got
So you'd
it.
have to load.
And-
It's like if it
And would
didn't
it
have
give
that
you
new
like
data.
turn by turn? Would it give you turn by turn?
Yes, it does. It does. But you just need to have like the new map, like because they get updated. Like this year, next year, new roads. That's why the
wait,
whole
so-
joke about like GPS sending you to a river, that shit happens because it's just like not. If you're not paying attention, it's not updated. Back then it's just. I mean, it was great. I mean, right? Because it still got you.
Wow.
Dude. The GPS is a kind of funny thing to me because when we were kids, it was here's a map, and then you unfold the map, and you'd be like, "Where are you going? Where are we going?" And then you sit there, draw it out, and then like
Yep.
as you're on the route, you gotta be like, look at the map, and then your dad's like, my dad would be like, "Okay, what turn?" You're like, "Oh, okay, turn now. Here's the turn. Here's the street. Here's how far we're going."
Yep.
It's like, and then that's why And so now, whenever you pick up a map, you're like, "Oh, where you want to go?" And you can look it up. You know how to look up, where you're going. You know where you're starting. You know how to go the route, and then
Thomas guides.
there's like, yeah, you throw your phone away. Just look, there you got a piece of paper.
Yep. Yeah, I remember my dad. He sat me down and was like, "Okay." Right when I got my license, he goes, "All right, here's your Thomas guide, right?
Oh, that's
And
good.
here's how you figure it out, right?" He would there's a whole like process, right, to kind of find your way and like know what page to turn to if you were heading north or whatever, right?
But think about how much you pay attention like after that, because like you wrote it down or whatever, but then that's it. Now you have to actually like look and be like, oh yeah, that's that street. That's that street. Okay, I gotta turn now. Like you're not relying on some little thing to tell you turn now. You're like, where now? Where now? So
Yep.
I think one of the hardest thing about maps was folding it back up again.
That's why you just get a new one. You just crumple it up.
Oh, no. So usually they're okay until one guy misfolds it just one time, and after that, all the instructions, the creases are messed up, and you can't follow it again.
Feels like you need to blame someone.
I do. I have plenty to go around.
Oh man,
Exactly.
But now it's really interesting because I will meet people that don't know how to read a map. You're like, and if the GPS is turned the wrong way, they'll lose their shit. You're like, dude, it's just pointed the other way. It's not a big deal. It's just I gotta do.
So here's a question for you guys. So when you guys are out and about, for example, and when you guys are driving home, do you still set your GPS to go home?
Yep. Traffic.
Even when I'm leaving the office, even if I know, well, pre-pandemic, right? Even if I know my way, I will still set it for a couple of reasons. One, actually 3 reasons. Ken, you nailed it. Traffic, because you never know. 2, so that I know what time I'm going to arrive, right? And then 3, I share my location with my wife so that she knows when I'm going to arrive.
You're a good husband. I don't do that anymore.
No, your wife already know where you're based on your car, okay?
You're still talking to her. That's why it's different.
And I'm turning left at the Taco Bell, right?
Do you, Henry? Did you turn on your GPS? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I do. I do turn on my GPS
as well. But are you turning GPS or are you actually turning on like Waze? Are you?
I actually use the navigation Go Home. It's for all the reasons that Ernesto hit on, but most importantly is so I know when I'll get home. Because especially my commute is fairly long. It would go from either 45 minutes or 90 minutes.
So
the same route.
That's cool.
knowing I guess knowing the time, how does that comfort you?
It made me sit here going, okay, I have another half an hour to go. Okay, I have another half an hour to go. Instead of the unknown, right?
Yeah, it's a mental thing.
Yeah.
For sure.
If you know it's a max of about 90, then everything's always less than 90. So everything should be happy.
You always want to be there as fast as you can, right?
Exactly. Faster than 90. I'm just different perspective, brother.
Yeah, Freddie, you're so chill about it.
You know why? So there's two reasons. One is it's really weird because other people are like, why aren't you turning on your GPS? I'm like, I know where I'm going. So where you're gonna end up is where you're gonna end up regardless of time. You have a destination. It's not like I don't know where I'm going. I do turn on my GPS if I don't know where I'm going, or I don't know my way out of a certain area because it's brand new, and I don't have time to look it up on a map. But point being is like to me, I actually just take a different perspective. Because like, look, if I have to sit in traffic, I have to sit in traffic. The caveat to that is I also ride a motorcycle, so traffic doesn't matter anymore. If it is traffic, I will split the lane because we live in California and you're allowed to do so. And I will be home faster than I will normally be if I was sitting in traffic.
But do you turn on GPS?
No. So on my I've been contemplating how to do so because I don't want to look down quite a bit. I actually want motorcycle. It requires quite a bit amount of like concentration. You actually, the way they teach you to ride the motorcycle is actually you have to look even further down than what you were if you're driving a car. And so there's just a lot of little things that go on when you're riding a motorcycle with like people almost killing you. And so so I was thinking like, yeah, turn by turn, if it's in my ear and they say, oh, turn here, or your exit's coming up, I think that would be pretty good, because then at least I don't someone it's the machine telling me where to go. But what I actually do is I just look up the directions, memorize it, and then drive and ride. And then most of the time I'm like 90-95% in the area, or because sometimes I might miss one or something, or I might be unsure, but then I can just pull over and just be like, oh, where am I?
So
recheck. Okay, now I know where I am.
So Freddie, do you actually remember every step by step of when
I try to remember as much as possible?
Okay, because for me, I don't do that. When I used to ride, I just hit the general direction. I'll say I'm going to north, and then the big main street I'm going to hit is blah. So it would depend.
Yeah,
I hit north.
I think it depends on what you're doing. Like if I'm riding to work, it's just riding to work.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm riding to somewhere where I don't know, like, yes, then I would have to like figure it out. But most of the time, like if I'm riding to just have fun and ride, then it doesn't matter I don't even use GPS. I'm just like, I think this road's that road. I think, oh, okay, we're good. And then when you end up, you're like, you should know. If you look beforehand, you know where roads end and roads go. So you just, but anyways.
But
yeah, just learn, man. But yeah.
I can't even imagine that anymore. Just knowing general what direction I'm heading.
Well, you mean like just a general direction?
Yeah, like even Henry, like, oh, I just need to go north. Okay. Great.
How do you know what's north, Ken?
You look at the Oakland Hills. Right, you look towards Berkeley. Yeah, mountains would be like,
and then you know where the ocean, the bay, which side is the bay?
Pacific Ocean versus the Oakland Hills. From where I am, right, Berkeley is due north.
See, you got it.
So
that's what I was like. I was just saying something.
Did you guys ever have to use nature to determine your direction? Freddie, don't answer that, because I know your answer.
I can't.
Use nature.
I don't want to say anything.
Does Oakland Hills count as nature?
No, but you can say, "Oh, sun is this way, so this is what it is." Or even you look at a tree, you know that the south side has more leaves.
Now that's not.
Come on.
No, that's true. No.
Like
It helped my ass out when I was got lost at Yosemite.
How long were you lost? How long were you lost?
we were lost for, I would say, an hour and a half.
Okay.
It was pretty bad. None of us we didn't have phones at that time. So.
Sure. Were you all still on the trail, or did you wander off the trail?
We were off the trail.
Okay.
That was a problem. That was our problem. I don't know what to do, man.
That
was our problem.
So wait. So you said that the south side of a tree
usually have more leaves.
More leaves
or branches.
South side.
Oh, this only works for Northern Hemisphere people.
Oh, okay.
You're still in the Northern Hemisphere.
No.
Sorry, I had to say
no. I'm in Southern California.
I know you're just messing.
That's a total different beast. Then he's in SoCal.
Yeah. No, I don't. But why? Why is that the case? I don't know. I don't understand why.
Okay, I scientifically I can understand, but I have never seen it or know to look for it, so I have no idea what it would look like to see a tree having more than one side than the other.
That's another.
You walk around it. That's how you see around the tree, Ken.
No. It's more fundamental than that.
But I'm not going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay.
Dude, if you're lost, you will do it. That's what he's saying.
Only time I walk around a tree,
and be like, "Yo, I wonder which side is the south side of the tree."
Only time I will walk around a tree. Ready? Only time I walk around a tree is if I need to pee, and then I have to figure out where my friends are.
Okay, now you know. Now you know. You be like, "I'm gonna mark the tree here, and then I don't know what south side is." Now the Henry's.
I have noticed this. So I have a little maple tree that I planted a couple of years back. And so like over my yard, the sun will go this way. And then the tree is, with the shade where my house would be in the afternoons, the tree is kind of like, if you look at it from the tree, it would be looking at the sun traveling this way in front of it. And so what I noticed is all the branches start growing that way. Like it would try to turn itself around. Like the branches on the side that where the sun traverses, it's fine. It's all its leaves are out. But the ones on the other side are going like trying to bend around with the branches. So it's an odd looking tree because of where I planted it. But I didn't know or thought about it when I planted it. This is the best position for a good looking tree. But no, I have a lopsided tree right now. That's
you seem mad at nature. That nature's gotta do its thing.
I'm mad at myself.
Evolution has really messed with him.
It's a tough one. Nature is but I'm pretty sure nature is unbeaten. So it's undefeated.
Like you don't
Father
think
Time.
about it because when the sun shines, sunlight is everywhere. That's the way you think about it, right? But then I'm just being an asshole human. I'm not like empathizing with the trees.
Just go hug your tree. It'll treat you better. Go hug your tree.
I go out there. I'm so sorry. I'm petting the leaves. I'm opening back up. I'm so sorry. I was a doofus.
I hear like, talking to your plants and music, Supposedly it's just positive, vibes to your plants. But I don't know. But anyways, so why does the tree branches reach that way? Henry, you were saying you're lost. you're lost in the woods.
Why?
Why? You're looking for it. You figured out, okay, we got to figure out a method to get us out of here.
South side has more sun. That's all it is.
And then, so how did that lead you out of the forest?
No, because we needed to know, because we knew we were going to northbound to get back home. We needed to hit southbound, as we know we would hit a major trail at that point. That was the only reason.
Did any one of you have a map at all?
We were all doofuses. We didn't know how to do those things back then.
No, this is pre-phone. Buddy, this is pre-phone.
Come on, man.
I thought you were asking us. I was like, yeah, I've got one.
No, this was during the time, Ernesto, when you're walking around, you look down, right, on your belt, and you're like, stupid beeper, you're no use to me right now. It does nothing.
You wouldn't even bring your beeper out in the middle of the woods. What are you talking about? Where's the payphone? Are you going to go?
What are you talking about? If you have a beeper, you bring it everywhere.
But you're not going to take it to Yosemite. There's no payphone. There's literally I got a page. Well, how did I call this person back? Shit. I could go down the mountain to go find a payphone.
No, it's the only way you stay connected, and you do it. But I have this question, Henry.
Right.
So did you know that about trees before you went to Yosemite? Or were you so lost after an hour where you stopped and said, all right, guys, we have to stop and science the shit out of this. And then that came to you.
Science the shit out
of this. one of us was a Boy Scout. So somebody was in a Boy Scout to figure that one.
Were the other ones where you're like, he's full of shit?
We all didn't believe it. We're like, nah, okay, fine. And since he was a cool guy, we followed it.
Okay. I was just wondering, because that's what normally happens with a bunch of dudes. They're like, he's full of shit. And then you don't believe it until he was right. Okay, good job.
Man, Henry, so we find out tonight that your ass was saved twice. First by porn and second by Boy Scout.
That's right.
Two ends of the spectrum.
Yes.
Very good.
Very different.
Hey. My ass gets saved by anybody. I don't mind.
Boy Scout porn?
No.
Oh no, I don't know. That was bad. I take that back. That's coming out.
Yeah, we can edit that. That's fine.
Sure.
Man. Map. Yeah. It's hiking, and maps. Yeah. Just if you know where you're going, just look where you're going before you go, at the very least, and then you have some idea. So if you left the map behind, you just recall some things.
No,
that's a hard thing. You get stuck out there. It's tough.
On that particular trip, we all did wait, I thought you were gonna do it. I thought you were gonna bring it. I thought you were gonna bring it. So we started running around.
But why didn't the Boy Scout bring it? What's going on?
The Boy Scout was handling the most important thing, the food.
Oh, I was gonna say the compass.
Oh, it's that kind of Boy Scout. So first of all,
wait. What's that? What are the types of Boy Scouts? What's going on?
so I think he's one of those, like, maybe an Eagle Scout. I don't know, but he's got the knowledge, but he wants to, like, just show off a bit, right? One is, I'll be in charge of food and nothing else, and then let all you doofuses get lost, or at least think you got lost. But the whole time, this guy knows where he's at.
Not everybody gonna be like me and try to set you up all the time, Ken.
Okay, then he's not a very good Boy Scout, because you guys got lost for an hour and a half.
Oh my goodness.
I made it back alive, and that's all that matters, eh?
Hey, Ernesto, have you ever done scouts, or your kids?
Mm-mm.
No interest.
No.
No.
No, none.
Have you bought Girl Scout cookies?
I think I might have had one friend. I have bought Girl Scout cookies. Those
Where you had one friend that did scouts that you could kind of recall.
Yeah, just one for sure.
It wasn't very big in your community, I'm guessing.
No. Mm-mm. Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah, just spend a bunch of days in the woods, running around. Shorts for no reason. It's
and getting merit badges. Come on.
What's that?
Getting merit badges.
Skiing is a merit badge. Come on, man. So, what the heck?
I started
How's that a merit
fire.
badge? How does that help you? Well, I mean, like, I guess you could help someone if you ski well enough and they fall on the mountain and you go pick them up and help them, but still. You're not going to help some little old lady across the snow.
You never know. It could happen.
I guess.
They should make a badge for that.
Skiing? There is. I was saying there is a merit badge for skiing.
No, like help an old lady ski across the slopes. Badge.
Cross country or downhill?
Which one's
wherever the old lady wants to go, man. You take her there. It's your job.
Just like
It's all you.
And then you stop. She's like, pull. What is that? A biathlon? It's like, I'm so tired. I can't ski, but I love shooting. Can you help me, Sonny? Yeah, no problem.
That's a funny sport too. Like, a combination of such, like, you wonder how they came about combining shooting and skiing, cross country skiing.
But it's like a very Scandinavian Norwegian thing. Like, we don't have snow.
Wait. Is that a thing as a sport, or a thing as survival?
I thought the sport originated from how they would have to go hunting.
Okay.
Because, like, you literally have to, like, go cross country skiing through the woods, see something, shoot it, go get it, and then ski home. Like, but we don't have that type of environment. So that's why I was like, that's what I thought the sport evolved from, but I don't know. Someone could look it up. I could be full of shit.
I don't know.
That sport looks really difficult.
It does, but I don't know the whole idea of a highly specialized sport like that only pertains to you and your kinsmen in your country, and you say, "Hey, world, let's compete." I don't know, something off about that. It's like if Aquaman comes out of the sea, it's hey, for Olympics next year, underwater swimming. That's a new sport. So let's do that. I'll have no respect for Aquaman.
Well, he's also not human, or he's also has superhuman powers. So
he's half human.
He's half human.
But the other half is superhumans. Come on. We're not even. We're all full human down here.
That doesn't make it okay, Freddy. Still a dick move.
He's a demigod.
Can sumo wrestling be an Olympic sport then?
Yes, fat guys all over the world.
But there's only one country that specializes in it.
The haircuts, sure, but everything else, fair game.
No, but no, I meant like Japanese. It's a Japanese sport. Like,
no, it's not anymore. No? Because
is it international?
One of the latest grandmasters is American.
But it is still. It's like the highest high of it's still Japanese. It's still like Japanese league. It's Japanese.
But I'm sure
we don't compete in the US and then like, oh, let's go world
I'm sure the sumo wrestlers in the US, right? I mean, it's like
Sure,
basketball. Like,
but
US
but
is
it's
the best in
like,
basketball.
So simple test, right? Can Aquaman sumo wrestle?
yes.
Can Aquaman?
I think
shoot a
some
guy
ladies would really like to see Jason
on
Momoa in just that
skis?
little towel. I mean,
No,
I
no.
might. I mean, dude's ripped. I mean, come on, man. He's got
wouldn't mind
hair
seeing him.
opposite of me.
No, I was watching YouTube, and I don't know why all these sumo wrestling videos came up in my feed, but apparently, like, there's an issue to the way they design the arena where they wrestle,
Okay.
because the wrestlers are actually on an elevated platform, and then it slopes down to where, like, I think the coaches sit. And so when you get thrown out of the ring, you land on this slope. And if you land wrong, you could get seriously injured. Like, there's concussions, you lose your balance, and you knock yourself out. Like, it's crazy. So I was surprised, like, all these years, nobody looked at it and go, damn, that arena design is terrible. What's the deal?
Do you think it's steeped in tradition?
That's when I question it, man.
It's like they're very, so like, some of the culture is very steeped in tradition. Some of those, like, following those traditions very strictly. And so I wonder if, like, the way that those arenas are built, or are they very, are they done because it's a traditional way?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, before they do anything, there's like a list of rituals that they do, right? They throw salt, they got to do some sermon and all that stuff. I mean, one of the things I would love to do is be able to go see one of those things live. So, I mean, I want to, but hopefully I have a chance, at some point to see that.
Have you ever watched any of these matches, Ernesto? Like,
Nope.
Even like you should go
Never.
look it up. It's like, these guys are pretty agile. I mean, they're huge. How many hundreds of pounds can? I know you probably looked it up.
I'm sorry. I did not look it up. It's just a YouTube feed.
I did see. It might have been a documentary a while back ago about, like, the nutritional regime that they have, right? The amounts of calories that they have to eat, and they have, like, a dedicated cook that just, like, all day long, like, their job is just to feed this wrestler this, and it's like a very specific, like, type of, like, the food, right? Like, they just don't eat whatever they want, right? It's very specific.
Yeah,
It's really
you guys ready for some big numbers? I threw the magic of Googling. All right, so wrestlers weigh as much as 150 kilograms, which is 330 pounds. And the average sumo wrestler eats up to 20,000 calories per day.
Okay, versus lineman, football player, please. Like,
that's the
okay,
same.
the size of a lineman is how big? Like, an NFL lineman is how big?
It's about 300.
I don't think it's I think it's 250, 260.
300 pounds.
So
Today the number
up to
stands at
300.
315. Oh, it's gotten heavier. Yeah.
So a sumo wrestler is still
More.
larger than a lineman.
330, yes.
But have you guys ever seen what Dwayne The Rock Johnson, his diet? Oh my gosh. He just eats all the time.
Yep.
And I don't even know how much, I can't even know how much calories he's intaking.
I think it's like to build and keep size. So you need the amount of calories. Otherwise, your body starts eating your muscles because there's no more calories. So it's like you have to be able to top out at the right amount too. And so, yeah.
So
I always look at his cheat days. I'm always more happy about his cheat days. I'm like, yeah, that looks good.
Yeah. He averages about 5,000 calories a day, according to.
I read another article where he like ships his whole gym everywhere, like because when he's not filming or whatever, he's working out. and then he has to have it, and so he ships this whole like all the stuff he needs everywhere. Like, oh, it's this movie set, new gym.
Wow.
Because he
Says
just
he
he
eats
has to
about
work
10
out. I mean, like,
pounds of
look how
food
big he is
per
now.
day.
It's a crazy amount. If you look at how when he first started wrestling to what he looks like now, it's dramatic, you know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it's
for
over
sure.
many years of work, hard work. I mean, it's just. I have a friend that is pretty big muscle bound too, and he just the amount of calories he has to put in just to like keep the size. I'm like, wow, that's crazy.
I mean, once you stop, man, also your skin start flapping down.
No. I think if you have massive weight loss, that will happen. Where like all the fat goes, but your skin, because it's elastic, it doesn't shrink fast enough. Because I watched a documentary about the guy like that, and he think it was like 300 something pounds, or I don't know. The point being is he lost multiple hundreds of pounds quickly, and even though he lost all that mass, his skin did not like shrink back fast enough, and so it was like because that's what his body used to be. So he had to go through plastic surgery just to like get some of it tucked up, because otherwise it would take it would never shrink back to the size that he needs to look normal. But it's elasticity of skin, crazy.
So does it eventually, like for folks like that drop weight so quickly, will the skin eventually tighten up, or always?
I think it's just how dramatic and how fast the weight comes off. Like, because your skin, it's like your skin's not catching up fast enough, I guess.
Yeah.
But
will it eventually? Let's just say you've
should.
already lost the 200 pounds.
I think
right?
if you just keep going, it should. But I don't know. I mean, I'm no medical doctor, so don't take my advice. Please, I am not liable for anything said on this podcast.
Disclaimer running across.
I know. I'm sorry. I should say that every time in the beginning.
Yeah.
Do not
I think
believe
because you
anything.
kind of sung that, I think it gives it more weight.
For sure, brother.
Yeah.
That shit, you could use that as a header. You'd be like, what is he talking? Why is he? When does he start singing?
When you're in the courtroom. Yeah, I've seen pictures of those folks, and the skin part, it always looked weird to me, but I have to like hats off to those folks that
it's crazy.
can drop like that and build up that muscle. But it's the weirdest thing when like their actual nipple just down at their stomach, right? And I was like, man, that sucks. You work so hard, and you build that physique, but you still can't really take off your shirt. It just looks weird.
Yeah. Everyone's got something, but yeah, it's tough. I think it's tough.
I think I would just get like a permanent marker and draw nipples.
Why don't you just get pasties?
Oh.
And I'm done. Instead of drawing them in, just put pasties on.
I met one person. I was talking to my wife the other day, and then I've met one person without a belly button. Here you go.
That's alien, man. That can't be. What are you talking about?
And so
I'm
he didn't have a belly button.
Wait, like naturally or like surgically?
I want to see Henry want to ask a question first.
No, I'm just trying to go figure it out. I'm like, does it make sense? Is that computing? That's my
That was a good question, Ernesto. Like, how did it happen? Because everyone has to have a belly button to be born.
Yeah.
I guess he had some sort of surgery where they cracked him open and they never gave him a belly button back. So it was weird because you could see where like the indent should have been, but I guess they just kind of sewed him up and they just healed over, and it just he didn't have an actual belly button. And I was like, that's fucking crazy.
That's insane.
That looks kind of weird.
Yeah.
And you don't really notice till he's like, hey, look, I don't have a belly button. You're like, what are you A, why are you telling me this? B, what the hell? Why do I gotta know this stuff?
Did you ask him if he had a problem? Like, this is a common problem. Like, a phantom belly button?
No.
Like once in a while, he'll put his hand out there.
I was just thinking, like, how did you lose it? Like, how did they? Like, why did they have to cut you open? He's like, oh, I had something with my heart, so they like cut me all the way open. I was like, that's a lot. They cut you all the way open. This is up here, but whatever. Surgery sucks. Has anyone had surgery here? No. Yes.
Not like that.
You're like, not like losing a belly button.
Yeah. I had a boil on my knee.
But that's outpatient, right?
Sure.
So
yeah.
No, not for you. Would you get a staph
No,
infection?
so I think this was in probably like 4th grade or something, right? Pretty early on. And so I just had a big boil on my knee, and then the traditional approach is always go the Chinese medicine way, right? And so my dad was like, "Oh yeah, we'll get cactus. We'll slice up."
Wait, sorry. What is cactus going to do to it?
It's supposed to absorb or suck out fluids or pus or whatever from the boil, or I don't know what it was, but I guess it kind of worked. Because I had it wrapped for maybe 3 days, and you keep changing out the bandages and the cactus slices.
I'm going to interrupt here. You know, Ken, your body naturally heals naturally in 3 days. That's why it naturally heals.
Hey,
it's not the cactus.
Wait. Could you?
Wait, I'm not finished. I'm not finished.
I gotta go back to this other one.
Not
Wait
finished.
a minute. Hold on. Mr. Sun.
I didn't say the cactus healed me, my friend. No, but back from the village where I come from, we don't talk about stuff like that.
Boils or cactus?
You must heal, right, ailments on your body, and you do it the natural way. So in this case, the cactus. But after 3 days, what happened was it wasn't really getting better, right? Because the cactus, I guess, absorbs some of it, but it's still painful. And so I said, Dad, let's just go to the doctor.
Did you take out the little things from the cactus first?
Oh yeah, my mom peeled it and all, you know.
Okay, just want to make sure, because I would think that would hurt.
I think that would probably have fixed me up sooner, because it just pop it.
But that's what I thought you were gonna do with the cactus.
But yeah, after like 3-4 days, we went to the doctor. He looked at it, right? And he like threw away all the cactus, and he was like, okay. He took a scalpel, cut it, bend my knee, and poof, and it was done. And that was it.
What is a boil? What's boil?
I think it's just a pimple.
So it's like something trapped underneath the skin of your layer of your skin.
Yeah, I don't know how it happened. It's right on the underneath my kneecap, and it just swelled up. Had pus in it.
Did it hurt?
Oh yeah, it was swollen.
And you couldn't walk, or
nope. Like I had to limp around, and that's why
your parents are just like making you limp around, like limp up the stairs to the Chinese doctor. You're like, okay.
Yeah, but you also have to limp in a way so the cactus slices doesn't slide out from under the bandages. That was also another challenge.
What? But did you go to a Chinese doctor, or did you just?
I don't recall. We saw a Chinese doctor first, but I think you can find that stuff in Asian textbooks.
Ernesto, do you know what a Chinese doctor is?
I do not.
Okay.
Besides just
that's why I was like,
Chinese.
we should probably talk about what is like Eastern versus Western medicine. All right.
Yep.
So there's probably a bigger thought about it.
So they Chinese doctors are embedded into the heart of any Chinatown. And so if you, like in Oakland, Chinatown, you walk past the corner market, and right next door, they will typically have like an herbal shop. Those would be a good place to start. If you walk past all the herbs and the counter in the front and go towards the back, there will be a Chinese doctor back there. And the first thing they do, no matter what ailment you have, is to measure your pulse. So I could literally hop in there, have a boil on my knee, and he'll measure my pulse. Because the belief is that your pulse will tell you all about your ailments, seen or unseen. They can tell if any of your organs or body parts are off. And then they make you buy herbs to fix that shit.
And if you ever go to the Chinese market, there's always a distinct smell. That's because of the Chinese herb that they have in there.
What are Chinese herbs? what Henry, what kind of types of crazy herbs have you seen?
You've seen, if you go to Chinese herb stores, you always see the ginseng. You also see the antlers. You also see, oh gosh, I don't know.
Carcasses.
What is the antler for?
Oh, that I don't know. See, I'm not that Asian in that sense.
I'm gonna give you one guess. What do you think the antler's for? Anyways.
Usually it's for for enhancement.
Virility.
Yeah, virility. There you go.
But anyways, let's see. I like trying to ask these questions to see if like you describe the place. It's a pretty interesting thing. You can go in and ask. You can tell them like, "Hey, this is wrong. This is what I'm feeling. This is what's wrong with me," and they will give you like herbs to, go towards that. Like, "Oh, I'm feeling sick. I have the flu. Oh, here's a couple of things that will help you get over the flu faster."
So
There
I don't ever argue with my mom about like taking those Chinese medicine, because my mom will always say to me, "Henry, we have 5,000 years of history with these things, so it will work." And I'll be looking at her. I'm like, unless you know exactly what's in it, because whatever you throw in there is always look the same to me at the end of the day. It's always black liquid.
Yeah. So you take the herbs, you take them home, you put them in a pot, boil them in water, stuff like that, and then drink it. Sometimes you got to eat the herbs. Sometimes you don't. I don't know. Depends on what the thing is, what the prescription they give you. But each time, like Henry says, you're drinking like black water. You're drinking things that just do not taste good. I mean, this is not for taste whatsoever. I think the worse it tastes, they think that it's better for you for whatever reason. Like, here, drink this dirt. You're like, okay. So
you guys are not doing a good job selling this.
We're not trying to sell it. We're just giving information. So like some of the cool things are like, yes, there are some natural herbs and some natural things that it will give you to help you,
And a lot of times these herbs and natural things that they put in there, they would, if we take that and bring it into the Western labs and run through it, you're like, oh, there's lead and mercury in this thing.
And there is like an Eastern version, right? If you get the right prescription of Viagra, more natural.
But the point being is it's another, it's holistic. It's probably a little better way to think about it. It's like it's a little more holistic as it comes to medicine. Eastern medicine, it has a lot to do with not just like, I mean, as you can see, it has to do with like healing and culture, but it also has stuff to do with its seasons and how there is some crazy stuff that Chinese people believe into as well. It's like if it's like you are hot or cold, or you should be drinking hot water or only cold water, you're like, this is absurd. You should just drink water. So there's a couple of things where me being me, I always question. I'm like, well, this doesn't sound right. So
I'll bring it to more modern day. So what's really funny is that till this day, I still get spam from my mom about don't drink cold water because it's bad for you. Okay, it's going to cool you off, and because the way she thinks about it, your body is 90 whatever degrees, and then you're drinking this cold water, and then you're just cooling everything off, so it's bad for you. So when I visit Asia or in Taiwan, they don't usually serve you ice water.
They don't serve you water.
Yeah, I don't. Well, even if they do, even if you try to go to like McDonald's and get a soda, they don't even give you ice cubes because they don't believe in that. That's number one. Number two, the girls are so up to more extreme that they don't even drink cold water, where it's the hottest day outside, they will still drink hot tea. And
I actually think the belief comes from something else. And it is disguised in a weird way. I actually think they wanted to always drink boiled water because it's clean. And the only way to really disguise it was to kind of like put it into philosophy, religion type of thing. The reason that now I started to notice this, right? Like not just our culture, but there's other cultures as well. Like you think about like circumcision back in the day. I would say back in the day, way back in the day. It's like, how else? Like that was circumcision is because it's supposed to help you like be clean, like right. It's like so you don't have to back in the desert and everything else, and it's dirty and sandy and hard to keep clean. There's no water. Yes, I can see circumcision as being like, well, now we put it in religion, so everyone's got to do it. So yeah, cool. And then, but now it's like modern soap and water. Like you don't need to do so. So, like, think about some of these things. I think about in Muslims are not allowed to eat pork, right? Is that correct? And so, I think it was because they said pork is pigs are dirty, so you shouldn't eat them. So now you think about it. Okay, let's reverse. Let's go back. I don't know, a couple hundred years. How do you know pork was cooked well enough so it doesn't make you feel bad? You don't. You didn't know that it was a good thing or bad thing. How do you know how clean it is before you can actually, cook it? You don't. You didn't. You didn't have no way to clean it back then. So yes, religion might have baked away. So this is all my theory. Just religion baked in a way to like protect people from certain things because it was like, how else can you do it unless you like say it's from the heavens? Who else told you? God told us to do it. Okay. It sounds like a good authority. Let's do it. So
God
anyways.
is clean. Is that the moral of the story?
No. That's just a couple of like different examples of, religion. Like what can you eat? What can't you eat? So stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm a bit caught up by the whole like circumcision. You're in the desert. That's how you keep it clean.
Yeah.
But when you're on the desert, people put a hood on their head. They wrap a turban around their head, right? So they cover their head. So why not cover both heads? Leave it covered. It's probably cleaner. That's my only fault was your theory.
Okay.
So
on that note,
you don't change your underwear, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Yes, I think. I think we're good. We should.
Okay. On that note, moving right along, we will be ending this podcast.
Yeah, keep your heads wrapped. We're gonna wrap this episode right now. Good night, y'all.